We have to prove that there's a better way. And that's what PCRM's job is. We have doctors, we have scientists to show how we can do good diabetes research, good cancer research, good heart disease research. So in 2003, the National Institutes of Health funded our research team to test a vegan, low-fat diet for type 2 diabetes. And it changed the world of diabetes. The American Diabetes Association now recommends the diet that we have. It's part of their clinical practice guidelines. PBS, I don't know if any of you have seen this, PBS picked it up and said, okay, maybe there's something here. And GEICO, of all places, you know the car insurance company? They are about 3 blocks from our office. And there's 2,500 people working in there. And they said, you know, we're self-insured. Every time anybody needs heart surgery, we got to pay for it. So they said, wouldn't it be nice if everybody here was vegan? So what we did is 2 things. We showed the cafeteria manager how to do vegan foods, and we did a study of their cholesterol levels and their weight and people who had diabetes, how they did. And this was kind of new for them. There were a few missteps along the way. It took the chef a little time, but he got it. Anyway, the people who didn't do the vegan diet, they didn't lose weight. The people who did lost weight very nicely. And so GEICO got all excited. Oh, by the way, our 2 worst participants, Hillary and Bruce, they came to all of our vegan meetings and they sat in the back and they just chatted and talked and looked into each other's eyes and paid no attention. And I brought really good cooking instructors, and they were complaining that Hillary and Bruce were distracting everybody. Well, I have to tell you, you can misjudge people. And I misjudged Hillary and Bruce. They did talk a lot, and they were distracting, but what they were talking about was how they were going to convince her parents to go vegan with them, and what they'd pick up at the store on the way home, and how they would get through Thanksgiving. And a year later, they sent me this picture. And Hillary's lost 85 pounds, Bruce has lost 100 pounds, and so they really talked it up. And so then GEICO said, well, that's pretty good. Let's do your program in Buffalo. Let's do it in Chevy Chase. Let's do it in Dallas. Let's do it in Fredericksburg. Let's do it. 10 GEICO sites all then offer the program. So anyway, then our power company in Washington, Mindy, you don't know this. We just did this. Pepco, which is our, what is it here? It's like...
how we're supposed to get our electricity.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've had some troubles lately. But anyway, Pepco just adopted it as well, and it's making their linesmen work faster. So the old way of doing research is that we need to prove what a plant-based diet can do. The old way of doing it is we do 2 or 3 years of a diabetes study followed by several more years of a cancer study. We've got a new method where we recruit large numbers of people. We bring them in at the same time and run studies concurrently, and we have got a good staff to do it. And the reason is I've calculated all of our collective life expectancy, and I've decided we got to speed it up. So anyway, but we can't do it without you. So many of the people here, the people I mentioned, but many others as well, have helped us to do that. So whether it's advertising for research participants to come in, or paying for the tests to draw their blood, or having our lobbyists on Capitol Hill to work, you all have made that possible. And I really appreciate it, and my only request is that we work faster and harder so that we change things much sooner. Doctors need a lot of help. They learn nothing about nutrition, so we make the nutrition guide for them and give it out free to the second-year medical students. We're now approved by the AMA to give continuing medical education to doctors, which is growing all the... Oh, believe me, they need it. Have some of you done our Kickstart program? This has been so much fun. It's an online program where every day you get an email with cooking videos and menus and recipes. And China is the biggest country in the globe, on the globe. Meat eating has doubled in the last 20 years. So we now have Kickstart in Mandarin. We've had thousands of people sign up. I can't do a tour in every village in China, but I can go online and we can reach people in ways we couldn't, even just a few years ago. So the last thing I just want to mention, the world is kind of conspiring against us in many ways. The federal government still subsidizes meat and dairy very heavily. That microscopic part, that's the vegetables and fruits. So things are not getting better really quickly. In 2009, we said, scrap the pyramid. It's a nice shape, but people eat off a plate. And this is what the plate should be. Healthy foods, throw out the meat. And look what the USDA actually came out with in 2011. I'm not taking credit for it because it's not quite perfect, but you can kind of see that if you work hard enough, you kind of drag them along a little bit. And then the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, which are the blueprint for everything that every school lunch program and so forth. We worked very hard. It's not perfect, but we got 2 full pages on vegetarian and vegan diets. And so what we do, and so they're continuing this. What we do is we do research where we bring in people, we publish our findings, and once they're published, we then work on Capitol Hill. Because NIH cares dramatically what Capitol Hill thinks, because that's who writes the checks. And so our strategy is you lay out the science, and you push it like crazy, and you change the policy from the top down. So we've got to prove it, we've got to push it, we've got to be right, but we've got to be impatient. That's the most important thing. I do not want to see one more candlelight vigil hoping things get better. What we've got to do is to really work hard, be right, be assertive, be smart, be strong. So many of you have been doing that for a long period of time. So many with our group, with other groups. We're working together. We're all working as hard as we can. And if we do it, I think we're going to win. So thanks very much.